At Alex's funeral service, another thing happened. Tom gave the message, and Alex had been adopted by a former teacher that he had, in that she was his third grade teacher at Boston Elementary, and she now taught fifth grade there. And when Alex was home on leave for the last time, he went down there, and they adopted him in his unit. They would send him care packages. And he was actually incorporated into their teachings on history. At that time, they were talking about the Revolutionary War. And the teacher would say, again, politics aside, compare Alex to the soldiers back then and what they were doing. And so they had adopted him. And so at the funeral, the whole fifth grade class showed up. Two of the kids were Muslim. They had never been inside a Christian church before. It was the first time they had heard the salvation message. Now, it wouldn't have happened otherwise. Does that make it okay that Alex is dead? No. God and I still wrestle about that today. But God used a bad situation to reach people who would not otherwise be reached. In closing, going back to the idea of community, other people were involved. Eddie Bannon, Keith and Linda Ronco, Sergeant First Class Charles Hill, the Patriot Guard. And if you all don't know the Patriot Guard, if you've ever heard of it, spend some time finding out. They're an amazing group of men and women. And Daryl and Kay Spangler. Daryl and Kay stayed with us the first week. She became our surrogate mom. And Karen and I just couldn't function. And she thought nothing of it. And Daryl one day, last fall, he and I, there's a war memorial, a Middle East war memorial up in Chicago. And one early Saturday morning, he and I drove up there to see this memorial. It has the names of everybody and my son's name up there. Without people like this who stepped into our life, I don't know where we'd be today. And again, tying it back to what Tom's talking about community, talking about small groups. Many of these people we met in small groups. People I haven't mentioned, like the Kaufmans, we met in a small group. We've helped each other out. The enemy wants us to be isolated. And the enemy wants us to be alone. And again, to go over it one more time, develop a community of fellow believers, not just of friends, but fellow believers. Because without these people having a Christian basis for what they were doing, they wouldn't have been able to receive messages from God. Or they wouldn't have been able to respond to God if they needed them, even though they felt uncomfortable and didn't know what to do. Also, with this, for those of you who have lost loved ones, who have suffered greatly, and who this message has touched and brought up those emotions, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the pain that this could have judged out of each of you. But God wants to use your pain. He doesn't want it to go to use. I don't know how He's going to use it. But He just wants you to know that there are other people like us and like you out there who need to be comforted. So realize that your pain is not for nothing, unless you want it. So I'm going to close here in a second, and I'm going to want folks to come up to receive prayer. And for those of you who are wondering where God is in your life, for those of you who may be at that dark night of the soul, for those of you who say, well, God talked to that guy up there, where is He in my life? This is meant for you. This is meant for your time to come up. And yeah, it'll take some courage to come up. But there are other people who will pray for you. So, and remember several different things too. I'm going to kind of sum up the message. God wants to bless us. He wants to. More often than not, or I should say all the time, we're the ones who stop it. We're the ones who get in the way. God wants us to pursue Him. He wants us to demand of Him whatever our issue is. He wants us to be bold and vulnerable before Him, saying that we need Him. He will give us peace that surpasses all understanding. And He will use our suffering to further His kingdom, if we allow it. So with that in mind, I would like to ask those of you who want prayer to come forward. And there will be others who will pray for you.